What is up, Esports Racing Network? I'm your host, LRS, here with the UTLR Xfinity Series at Mid-Ohio. I'm going to be doing the esports cam tonight on UTLR Live. Flash is doing the main broadcast on UTLR Live. We split up. We decided that it would be fun to do two separate at once just to see how that works, because Alex could not broadcast tonight. But here, Mid-Ohio, third race of the weekend. INF trying to go for the weekend sweep for the third time in UTLR history. The only other two to do it are Sim Racer at Charlotte and Dusty Stud at Darlington. INF also with the win last night in the Cup Series moved into first place all-time in UTLR league-wide road course wins. And if INF were to win tonight, he would move into all-time winners in first place for Xfinity Series. We're going to load in here. Let's pull up the lineup. If I can get a flash in here. I don't know if SP got him one, so I'll get him an invite. All right, let's go through the Xfinity lineup. Starting on pole. Where's he at? Let's get on board with the man. Right here, Edge, starting P number 1 in the number 90, looking for that regular season championship. If he can start the race, he wins the regular season championship automatically with only 2 races remaining. He'll have a big enough gap. Starting in second, Michael Shackelford, you see in that all green number 10 car right there. He's usually a, people say a qualifying merchant. He does not like road courses, so if he's a qualifying merchant, then he did pretty well here today. Back there in P3, Nick Jensen, one of the drivers looking for the all-time record for Xfinity Series wins here. If he won today, he would tie, and it would become a 4-way tie between Nick Jensen, Jack Farnhart, Noah Felker-Smith, and John Dean. Back behind them, speaking of John Dean, if he could win tonight, he would become the all-time winner in the Xfinity Series. Won last week, equaled INF and Heathen at 7. Back behind them, Sammy Schaefer. He's rounding out the top 5. Then JDF, as me and Alex call him, he'll be 6th. One Bad 7th. Kegan Huey 8th. Alan Drake 9th. Clater's going to be in P10, rounding out the top 10. 11th, Ardeni. 12th, Beeson. And 13th, High Road. Back behind him, INF. As we come around here, stage number 1 is going to be 9 laps. It's the exact same length as the Cup Series race. You could save in those cars easily. You cannot really save in these cars. But we're going to come around the restart zone here. There is no restart zone. Every restart tonight is going to be at the start-finish line. Brandon Edgington, Michael Shackelford, front row. Can INF win all 3 races from the back of the grid? We're going to find out. Green flag out here at Mid-Ohio. Good jump from both lanes, but Brandon Edgington up through the gears better. Into turn number 1. Look at how they fan out. Dusty getting pushed off the track right there. Nick Jensen trying to look to make a move on Shackelford. Now putting his sights on to Brandon Edgington. Everyone got through turn 1 pretty clean. Brandon Edgington deep into the corner. A couple of cars going really deep. I think that was the 11 of Jay going off and into the gravel. Currently, Edge up front in front of Shackelford and Jensen and Dean side by side. Going down at the end of the straightaway into the heavy braking corner. You see off the track goes Jay. That's his second incident in as many corners up front. John Dean got by Nick Jensen. as we just watch everything play out. John Dean's going to have to dispose, you could say, of Shackelford pretty quickly if he wants to. Oh, and it looks like right here, Wormy around. Get on board with John Dean. Here he goes to the outside of Shackelford. Going to put a little space on him now, and there he goes to make a move. And look at Nick Jensen making a move on Shackelford. Gets into him a little bit. Now he's going to be forced to use the outside lane to get back by him. Edgington leading from John Dean. Jensen third. Nick Jensen last night finished second in this Cup Series race, and I think he finished third or fourth in the truck race. So obviously has pace. John Dean finished fourth last night in the Cup race, and in the truck race he finished second. Let's look for INF. Jack Farnhart, how far has he moved up? He is in currently P5 right now, and he started all the way. Actually, I don't think he started too far back because he's in Sammy's car. So he started in Sammy's spot, so he started P7, he is P5. Right here you see side by side between the 9 car and the 74, that is Alan Drake and Zach Clater. On board with Jack Farnhart. Oh. Something just happened, I think, for the lead. Well, look. Yes, it did. Brandon Edgington made a mistake, and now John Dean out in front. And if John Dean were to win, he would become the all-time winningest driver in the Xfinity Series. But a mental mistake from Edgington after setting blistering pace in qualifying allows John Dean back to the front. See Zach Clater. He has to come from the back, struggling to get through traffic right here. He does have the pace. He's a really good road course racer. See how that'll play out. Let's get up on board with Brandon Edgington to see if he can close in on John Dean after applying pressure. Michael Shackelford's holding on pretty well too, back behind him. On lap 4 of 9 for this first stage. Look at Brandon Edgington with a run coming. Nick Jensen deeper on the brakes, closes in at the end of the straightaway. John Dean overran the corner trying to get the better exit. Not a great sequence of corners for John Dean. Brandon Edgington going to close right back into him. You see Nick Jensen waiting back there. I was talking earlier to my father, actually, who tuned into the race last night, and I was talking to him about how SP Nick Jensen probably has one of the most interesting strategies at road courses. He's so fast, and he's just so inconsistent. He makes mistakes and gets in his own head, and I think if he could fix that, he would dominate these races. As we watch Edge go around the outside in the final corner and passes John Dean back into the race lead with 4 to go. And we'll see how this all can play out. John Dean, though, with the mistake, and Brandon Edgington back out in front. The top 5 are all together. Shackelford blocks the inside back there. You can see Jack Barnhart trying to get the exit. Shackelford's going to run him a little wide right there to fight and keep the position. They're both going to fall back, and now it's 3 cars going to battle for this one unless INF can get some magic happening. There is Jay on the outside. Nice paint scheme for him, battling Clater. Little mistake there from Edge, went a little wide. John Dean's going to close in. Nick Jensen was talking as well. He loves the long run. He thinks the car comes in really well. This is the long run. Question is, do these drivers have enough in their tank to be able to run to the end? You see Brandon Edgington with a little mistake. John Dean closes right in, and I do want to get on board with Nick Jensen so he can watch the drivers in front of him and see how he can capitalize with 3 laps to go. Sorry, 4 laps to go. Brandon Edgington off in the grass. John Dean gets a run off the final corner. They're going to be getting close to one another here. How do they take turn 1? Nick Jensen misses it. The top 2 hit it pretty good, but Brandon Edgington off and into the grass. John Dean around the outside. John Dean back to the lead. Nick Jensen Honestly, smoother than the two in front of him through the carousel section right here. Closes in on the top three. Top two, whatever. They are the top three. What does Brandon Edgington do here? Does he make a move? See, Jack Barnhart got by Nick, or by who did he get by? Michael Shackelford back there. Oh, you see Edge got loose right there. Jensen closing in. John Dean not pulling away. He's making mistakes as well, but this time by pit road is probably going to be busy because the next time after that's going to close. Jensen too deep. Jensen runs wide. Brandon Edgington clearly better in the second portion of the track than Dusty, but not in the first. Look at this final sector for Brandon Edgington. He's just so good. He's all over John Dean. John Dean looking for his 6th stage win of the season. Edgington looking for his 5th. See down into the end of the carousel. Edge got up on the curb. John Dean's going to pull away. Here comes Nick Jensen looking to the outside of Brandon Edgington. Down into the heavy braking. Down the, we're going to call this the second straightaway. They're trying to close back into John Dean. These top 3, top 4 can still pit if they want to, but nobody else can. It's going to be way too close. Anybody going to try and flip the stages? Too many mistakes from Brandon Edgington right now. John Dean's pulling away. Looking for his 6th stage win of the season. Going to stay out. Brandon Edgington's going to stay out. Nick Jensen's going to stay out. Jack Barnhart's going to stay out, and pit road is closed. 2 to go. John Dean pulling away. Surprised with the pace from Nick Jensen. Thought he was going to be up front pulling away a little bit. Looks like it's impossible to pass. Deeper into turn 1 is Edge. John Dean's trying to just keep it wrapped patiently. Edge runs wider, and it hurts the exit, but the entrance compensated for it, and he's closing in a little bit. And look at him close right there on the straightaway. He's very much there. Don't count him out. And if they get to battle, and that's going to open the door for Jensen and Barnhart. Brandon Edgington looking for his 9th stage win of the season. My fault. I said 6. And John Dean looking for, his 6th. Coming around to the white flag. 2 for the lead, 2 for 3rd. Look at Brandon Edgington get through there. John Dean got up on the curb, hit the bump, loses momentum. Brandon Edgington to the lead. Look at John Dean just making mistakes. Too many mistakes as Brandon Edgington's going to pull away. And it is Brandon Edgington out front. With no contest, unless he makes a mistake, he's going to get his 9th stage win of the season here. Dusty absolutely struggling right now after making that mistake in turn 1. INF turned it on, and it is all over him. Guess they can make it on fuel. Nobody had to pit. None of them looked like they were saving. Looks like SP had a mistake back there. Almost spun. here we come into the final 2 corners. And off the final corner, Brandon Edgington is going to win his 9th stage of the season, Stage 1 winner. John Dean 2nd, Jack Farnhart 3rd, Nick Jensen 4th, Michael Shackelford 5th. We'll wait for the rest of the field to come across the line to get the official lineup. I think Hamilton got 7th from the back of the grid. Zach Clater 8th. Oh, sorry. High Road got 6th. Mason got P7. Zach Clater got 8th. JDF got 9th. And Alan Drake got the final stage point. So I think somebody switched the stage. I don't necessarily know who. I also don't know how Jay got 9th in the stage and just crossed the line. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting battle here. It says they got 10 laps in the second stage, can only hold 9 laps of fuel, but obviously it's going to burn a lap when they advance, so we'll see how that plays. Front row, John Dean on the outside, Brandon Edgington on the inside, Nick Jensen, Jack Farnhart, the winningest drivers on road courses in the second row. Green flag, back out. We're going to get on board with Jack Farnhart and see what the front 2 do. Jack Farnhart goes a little deep. Nick Jensen gets up on the curb. Brandon Edgington clears John Dean. And 1, 2, 3, 4 remains the same. Look at Hamilton making a move on Jensen, trying to go to his outside. SP goes way too deep into the corner. I think he got sent from behind by Shackelford. Took INF out, took Hamilton out, took Drake out. Back. Sorry for the incident right there. Up to the race lead. Brett Edgington pulling away. We saw that incident right before I left between Nick Jensen, Jack Farnhart, Michael Shackelford, Diamante Hamilton. Looked like SP got on the brakes too hard, slammed into the side of Hamilton, and then got punted by Shackelford. Brent Edgington's just trying to keep it on the track. Look at Diamante Hamilton back here. Got some good pace in that number 18. Started in the rear. Up to P3 and putting the pressure really on John Dean. See, Brandon Edgington went off in the grass right there. Lost a lot of time for the race leaders. John Dean making mistakes. There goes Hamilton right back by Dean. He's up to second. John Dean think he's short on fuel. They crossed the line right there. In the stage, 7 to go. John Dean's fuel meter says he has 7 laps of fuel. You can go about half a lap on 0. So we'll see how that plays out. Look through the field a little bit. You see Wormy with some damage. Mason up here trying to get into 4th. Shackelford 5th. Clater 6th. JDF 7th. Look at that right there. Shackelford off the track. Looks like Jack Farnhart gets by him. Nick Jensen deep in the pack, struggling. Deep in the pack for Nick Jensen. I think he probably has rear end damage. His car is not handling good. He did get punted into the corner by the car right in front of him, so we'll see how he'll race him. Up front, I want to get on board with Hamilton, see if he's closing in. He is. Look at him closing in on Edge. Hamilton's been on a tear recently. He's been running really well on the short tracks, and usually the short track drivers run really well on road courses. He got top threes in both of the lower series races at Dover and Martinsville. And he's closing in. 6 to go right there at the line. On board with Ardeni. All by himself. Here's Evie. Not having the best of nights. Drake back here was involved in that lap 1 incident. Jack Farnhart, the all-time winningest driver in UTLR history on road courses. Nick Jensen, second place in that category. JDF, Jaden Dubois-Fournier, newcomer to the league. Good on road courses in the open wheel series. Gonna have to try and capitalize a little bit here. Zach Clater misses the corner, and he and John Dean make contact right there. Look at JDF waiting in the wings. Nice job by Jay, to be honest. Big pack formed right here. I mean, a lot of cars in this one. Look at that. Diamante Hamilton did get by Brendan Edgington for the lead. Does not have to save fuel for, I mean, Hamilton probably does have to save fuel, but I feel like he's willing to push because nobody behind is really saving. Mason is coming in. Dusty was saving. Look at this line of cars going down towards turn 2. Huge line of cars. Shackelford goes really deep, almost into the back of Jack Farnhart. Hamilton goes way off the road while pushing right there. Missed turn 4. Look at how close the cars are back behind him, though. He's clearly pushing, nothing to save. Oh, I think Zach Clater just crashed. Or got off the track, he definitely did. Side by side through this section is not doable, but Jay and Clater did it right there. Oh, and there goes Jay. Great battle between him and Jay through the corner, and then Jay just lost it. Oh, contact between SP and Garage God. Garage God gets moved out of the way. SP comes through. Maybe that was a little response from what happened on lap 1. We got 4 to go in the stage. Hamilton's pushing. You heard Edge way out of the gas right there. Way off the throttle. Needs to save a lot. Just listening to the drivers and hearing what they're going through. Sounds like most of them are good on fuel except for the ones that are pushing. So High Road's not great, Meso's not great, but they're worried about tires. Into Thunder Valley. You see still watching with, oh, Edge, who makes a mistake and goes off the track. Gets back on. I mean, anything to save fuel, I guess. Coming at 3 to go in the stage. Hamilton's pushing. High Road missed the corner, or Edge missed the corner. He's really abusing the curbs for somebody saving. Hamilton out front still, over the curb edge, really, really rough over the curb. That shows me that he's staying in a higher gear and can't slow the car down. Hamilton, nice line there to get the exit. Edge followed the same line, so nicely done. Don't know if they can make it though. INF is 100% doing that thing that he does, where he doesn't show you anything he has in the first two stages and then somehow becomes the fastest car you've ever seen. There's no number on the roof of this car. Right on him. Can Edge make it now, and is Hamilton backing up to save? Coming to 2 to go. I don't know if Edge is safe on fuel. I know. Oh, Edge getting into Hamilton right there. Really getting into Hamilton right there. Bumps him up out of the way. Side by side on the exit. Edge going to lead the lap right there. Hamilton's not going to appreciate that. I've been working with Hamilton. He does not like being race aggressive. That's what provokes him. But Edge does pull through. Dusty's 100% good on fuel, but he's been saving pretty much since lap 2. Edge has not been saving that long. So I'm going to get on board with John Dean right here. There goes John Dean. Look at him. He's closing in on the leaders. He knows he can push. Now he's pulling Mason with him. Zach Clater is there. Jack Farnhart and Nick Jensen. But Edge is not pulling away from High Road. So maybe High Road is back on it. Edge way too deep in the corner. It's not going to get a great exit there. And if Edge can win this stage, it would be his 10th stage win on the season. Get on board with Edge and look back as he comes to the white flag in stage number 2. Hamilton went wide there off the track. Better line for Hamilton through there. Look at the run he gets off. Brandon Edgington, decent pace down the straightaway. Good corner by Edgington right there. Pretty good corner by Hamilton. What's to watch here is if Hamilton can make it on fuel. We know Dusty can. We know Edge can. Hamilton really deep into the corner. It worked really well for him. He closed right up on Edge, looking for his 3rd career stage win. Be Edge's 10th. It would be High Road's 3rd. It would be Dusty's 6th. Here we come into the final section of the course. Looks like Hamilton's slowing a little bit. Might be stuttering. Here comes Brandon Edgington into the final corner. 10th stage win on the season and a stage sweeper at Mid-Ohio. Brandon Edgington. Hamilton got 2nd. Dean got 3rd. Good job by Hamilton to get P number 2. See who got where in this stage. Looks like Mason got 4th, Farnhart got 5th, Jensen got 6th. Sorry, Zach Clater got 6th, Jensen got 7th, Shackelford got 8th. Back there in the final 2 points positions, P9, Richard Denny, and P10, JDF, who we saw crash. So nice job for him to get points. Gonna have to fix all that damage though as we come to the final stage. Should be 1 pit stop. if there's no caution. And here we go. They're saying one pit stop. Brandon Edgington on the inside. Diamante Hamilton on the outside. Green flag back in the air at Mid-Ohio, and Edge did not go. Not a good start for Edge. Here comes John Dean. Hamilton into the race lead. Did not get a good turn one. Needs to block the inside here. John Dean tries to go to the outside. Brandon Edgington blocks it. Here comes John Dean. Not going to force it in there on Hamilton. Brandon Edgington trying to get the run off the corner. Hamilton up on the curb. Nice job by Brandon Edgington to get the run out. He takes the lead back after that horrible restart. John Dean closing in. How deep does Hamilton go to try and maintain the position? He's locking up. He almost gets sideways. He's on the inside. John Dean gets back by him up and into second. A couple of drivers go wide there. Looks like maybe JDF. Oh, JDF off the track again. Oh, somebody off in the back there, almost into the wall. Where did John Dean go? Where's John Dean? Here he is, way deep in the pack. Must have made a mistake. He's in sixth. Brandon Edgington pulling away a little bit. Jack Farnhart up to third. Is that Zach Clater in fourth? How does Hamilton handle the pressure from Farnhart? Oh, Mooncard just went live. Interesting. I did not know they raced today. Maybe it's just lights. But Brandon Edgington pulling away. Hamilton holding up a couple of drivers back behind him. We'll see how that works out. Farnhart needs to get by Hamilton. Good job, though, from Hamilton, to be very honest. Very nice to see him with pace right now. I mean, he is holding them up slightly, but not enough to where it's like going to be an easy pass until he goes off the track just like that, and Farnhart gets by him. Zach Clater almost does too, but can't get it done. Now Jack Farnhart's looking to chase him down. See how this is going to play out. Farnhart won in the trucks, he won in the cups, and he's looking to become the third driver ever to sweep the weekend. And with a weekend sweep and an Xfinity Series win, he would become the all-time Xfinity Series wins leader. Big battle back there between Shackelford, Mason, and Jensen. Farnhart, though, making mistakes, letting Brandon Edgington pull away. Brandon Edgington up there, swept the stages. You usually don't see somebody sweep the stages and win the race. Usually a rarity. You see Hamilton make a mistake. John Dean trying to go around the outside of Zach Clater, who gets up on the curb. John Dean is going to get up a position right there. See Hamilton struggling. Farnhart's pulling away a little bit. John Dean not trying to be too aggressive with Hamilton right here, trying to wait for him to make a mistake to get the pass off. I want to get on board with Farnhart right now as we're closing in. Looks like John Dean is side by side for third back there. Yes, he is. But what does Jack Farnhart do? He knows what's at stake. He is not the biggest fan of the driver in the race lead. And if Edge could win tonight and sweep the stages, it would be his 4th career win, and he would join Marquin Brewer, Matty Ice, Suspect Camo, CCDN Flash. He would join all those drivers with 4 career wins. Farnhart closing in though. And when Farnhart gets close enough for Edge to see him, the mistakes will start to be made. John Dean put a gap right there on Hamilton. I saw grass get kicked up there. Looks like maybe Edgington made a mistake. We're on lap 28 of 40, coming to 29 of 40. They're almost in their pit window. And Jack Farnhart has to get on it. And I mean really get on it. He will when Edge goes off the track and dips a tire into the gravel. Didn't really slow him down much. John Dean not closing in. The top 2 are really gapping the rest of the field. And I can assure you, a lot of the drivers in this field do not want INF to get that weekend sweep, especially Edge. You know how competitive Edge is, and he does not want that to happen, so he will race for this win. We remember what he did at the Indianapolis Road Course with me, SP, Alex in the booth. We remember what happened with that. Him and Weiss made contact. It was not the funnest of things to watch. Well, it was fun to watch. It wasn't fun to admit it. But yeah, Farnhart's closing in ever so slightly to the race leader of Edgington. Farnhart with not a great line in that corner, though. I don't like what he did there. I mean, he probably does. Did Jack Farnhart meet his match? This is right about where he was running before we came to the final pit stop last night in the Cup race, and he stayed out longer and got the overcut. Will he do it again? 11 laps to go for Brandon Edgington. 2 laps he has to hold on for the pit strategy. Way off into the grass. Farnhart keeps it on the track but hits the curb. Not great for his tires. He needs to start getting a little aggressive here, does Farnhart. I've asked Farnhart multiple times this season, because he is chasing that record for the all-time wins, how much would it mean for him to get it? He said it would mean a lot. But look at this. INF looks like he's saving a little bit, Farnhart, and it's allowing Brandon Edgington to gap him a little bit. And I think Edgington's going to catch on to that and start to fall back in a second. They still need to go 1 or 2 laps here to be safely in the window. This time by 10 to go. Here's Nick Jensen on Mason LaForge. Don't know what happened to Zach Clater. He's back behind Michael Shackelford. Is Shackelford up in 3rd, I wonder? Edge off the track, dipping a couple of wheels into the grass right there. That's going to definitely slow him down. Let's see how Jack Farnhart responds. Here he is. Great turn 1 for Farnhart. He's going to start pushing. You know, maybe they can run a couple more laps. The tire light has not come on for John Dean in 3rd. Neither has the fuel light. And they're coming to 9 to go, which is how much you can hold in the fuel tank. And look at this. Farnhart closing back into Edgington. See, he's closing in. Edgington getting a little on his nerves right there, making some mistakes running wide, can't get on the throttle. I'm in the Discord, you know, the race chat. I have not heard anybody call their pits yet. Look at that, Farnhart way off the track. A mistake, a rare mistake from Farnhart. Shackelford closing in, coming to 9 to go. They can run 1 or 2 more laps from what I'm looking at on John Dean's onboard, and Farnhart's usually really good at keeping the fuel in the car, so he might even be able to go 3 laps. 9 to go, fuel window, pit window open. The tires can go 9 full laps. The fuel can go about 9.5, so if anybody wanted to pit there, they could have. Looks like they're going to opt to go later. Jack Farnhart a little too tight right there on entry. Cannot get on the gas great. You heard he got on the gas, but it wasn't great. Brandon Edgington pulling away. Are they going to pit? This time by John Dean will. He only has 1 lap of fuel, and he clicked in turn 2. INF is so good in the first section of the track, but Brandon Edgington is so good in the middle, and INF is good at the finish, but they do not even out at all. It just, Brandon Edgington is so fast in the middle part of the track that it just doesn't allow INF to close in, but I think they're going to pit right here. Farnhart just called his pit. Farnhart's going to pit. I did not hear Brandon Edgington call his pit. He did not call his pit, but he's coming in. Look how much Farnhart closes in. It's okay to not call your pit the first time. It's a warning, and they don't have to pit again. Farnhart closed in dramatically on the entrance of pit road. John Dean pits. Looks like Zach Clater's trying to stretch it. Of course he is. He's out in the lead with Hamilton second. First pit stall for Farnhart's going to help him here. We'll see what Brandon Edgington does to hold the position, and how good will the pit crew be. And will they come out in a clear racetrack, or will there be lap traffic? Brandon Edgington comes out. Jack Farnhart comes out right with him. Oh, Edge up on the curb. Jack Farnhart is right there. Could we be in for an all-time road course battle? Could we see something like what happened between me and SP at the Charlotte Roval a couple of times, or me and Mole at Watkins Glen? Those are classic league finishes. Are we in for one with 7 laps to go this time when they cross the line? Oh, Farnhart got loose but got the better angle. Edge went too deep. Oh, Edge a mistake. Here comes Farnhart to the inside. No contact. Edge leaves him room. Edge holds the lead. Farnhart's just going to bide his time and wait. Got a lot of laps and a lot of time to do it, and Edge is under pressure, and it's really showing. Can't get on the throttle. Jack Farnhart does. Once everyone pits, they're going to cycle 1-2. John Dean's going to cycle 3rd. He's about 2 seconds behind them. I like the line by Edge right there to get the run into the final corner, and that's very nicely done by him, as Jack Farnhart needs to close in with 7 to go. Oh, Brandon Edgington missed turn 1. Jack Farnhart got through there really good. Here he comes with a little run heading towards turn 2 in the carousel. What will Jack Farnhart do to get that weekend sweep and that all-time record in the Xfinity Series for wins? And what will Brandon Edgington do to get his 4th career win? Looks like Jack Farnhart's fallen back a little bit. I think he's going to start to put the pace on here. Coming to 6 to go. Look at that. Edgington misses the corner a little bit, goes a little too deep. It forces him to run wide into Thunder Valley. Jack Farnhart better through there. Look at that. Farnhart hits the apex as wide to try and get the run off, and the gap is right where it was before the moves were made. Farnhart gaining a little ground coming out of Thunder Valley and into the S's. Two corners to the next lap. 6 laps to go this time by Brandon Edgington. Off into the grass with all 4 tires that time. Kills the lead he had. Is Jack Farnhart saving his stuff and waiting to pounce? He puts the 2 tires in the grass and gets the run. Good job by Brandon Edgington that time. Did not make a mistake in turn 1. How aggressive is Farnhart going to be? Oh, Brandon Edgington got loose, but Farnhart dipped his wheels onto the grass. Edgington has so much power down the straight. That's where INF struggles, but it's reversed this time. INF closing in as we head into turn number 6, and INF goes way off the track, but it helps him, and the exit of the corner, he closes right back in on Brandon Edgington. And if these two come together, John Dean's waiting in the wings to sweep in for that all-time wins record. Oh, and there you go. Brandon Edgington again missing a corner. He's obviously much faster than Jack Farnhart, but he keeps making mistakes. Like the run right here for Brandon Edgington as we get to 5 to go in a caution-free race again here at Mid-Ohio. He dips the wheels onto the grass. Here comes Farnhart into turn 1. Farnhart's putting the pressure up, and he's feeling it. Dusty's fallen back to 5.4 seconds behind them. If there's contact and they both spin, there's a possibility he could come through and win, but look at the run by Brandon Edgington as we go down the back straightaway. We wait and see what happens. I hear there's a crazy battle going on somewhere in the field. I don't know, but I want to stay on board with the battle for the lead. They're coming to 4 to go, and Farnhart is still in it. Oh, Brandon Edgington off the track. That's going to slow him down tremendously. And they're catching a lap car. That's the lap car of Alan Drake. Gets way out of the way, off into the grass. Oh, and a spinner right in front of the leader as Edgington has nowhere to go. Thankfully, turned into a ghost last second. 4 to go. Brandon Edgington checked up for that car so it could turn into a lap car, and it could be, or a ghost, and it could be a race-winning move with 4 to go. Edge with a good corner exit. That's where Farnhart struggles the most on this race circuit, and I think that's where Edge pulls away every single time. That's where he could win. Farnhart just never has any straightaway speed. Brandon Edgington really smooth up the hill right there, now into Thunder Valley. About the best I've seen him get through, but he missed the apex right there, and Farnhart closes right back in. It seems like they've swapped where they're good and where they're bad. I thought INF was slower in the middle sector, but he's faster, and Edge is struggling in the middle sector now when he was faster. Both of these drivers are aggressive. Both of them are going to have fun here with 3 laps to go. 2 records on the line for INF and a 4th career win on the line for Brandon Edgington. Farnhart's keeping him on his toes. Farnhart kind of missed turn 1 right there, but you see Edgington off and loose and almost in the grass, had to get out of the gas, and he closes right back into the back of Edgington. That's Farnhart. It is 3 to go, and I like Edgington's line better there, but he goes a little too wide, and he gets up on the curb, and it kills the momentum he would have carried on the straightaway. There is another lap car up in front of them. I don't know if they'll get to him in time. Farnhart deeper into turn 7, but Brandon Edgington kept it nice and tight and neat and into Thunder Valley. INF with a better corner. Farnhart all over Brandon Edgington. He puts the bumper to the back of him. They're about to get real racy here. They have almost 10 seconds to Dusty now, and they can get racy, and hopefully that lap car gets out of the way. Farnhart with a mistake. Got up on the curb and saved the car. Almost overcorrected it. Now Farnhart's going to have to give every bit of talent he has to catch back up. Or will that lap car, the 93 of Keegan Huey, help? Brent Edgington, oh, we almost spun. And here comes Jack Farnhart with 2 to go. Farnhart made a mistake in turn 1. Brandon Edgington made a mistake, and there's a couple of cars now in the lead, on the lead lap fighting. They need to get out of the way when the leaders get to them. Keegan Huey blocking the preferred groove right there. I assume on the straightaway he'll get out of the way. Good exit by Jack Farnhart. Brandon Edgington got a good one too. Huey gets out of the way. One more lap car in between them. Farnhart. Oh, Brandon Edgington overshot the corner. Farnhart with a great corner all over him. He's going to try and do the crossover move, but Brandon Edgington parks it on the apex, and INF has nowhere to go. How aggressive are they going to be? Farnhart's going to turn it up and give him his best, and he's going to give him his all. Look at Brandon Edgington make a mistake right there. Ran a little deep. A lot on the line here for INF, not much for Edge. Edge racing for the championship. INF racing for some records. Here we come. 1 lap to go from Mid-Ohio. Who is it going to be? Will it be the weekend sweep and the all-time win record for INF, or the 4th career win for Brandon Edgington? Edgington goes too deep into the grass, and Farnhart gets the run off. The lap car up in front of them going to have to get out of the way if they're going to do battle. Farnhart's going to run it deep into the corner. That's Ardeni up there that's waiting to get lapped. Farnhart hits the curb. Brandon Edgington going to put a little gap on him as they head towards turn number 3. Or 4, my fault. What will Farnhart do in the final half of this track? He goes deep going into turn number 4. Good patience there by Edgington. He keeps it nice and neat. Into Thunder Valley. Edge runs wide. Farnhart's looking to make a move. Edge goes too deep into the next corner, and Farnhart gets it perfect. What do they do through the S's and then into the final section? Brandon Edgington up on the curb. Farnhart looking to cross him over. Edge parks it on the apex, but here comes Farnhart. They're side by side coming into the final couple of corners. Who's it going to be? Edgington on the inside, Farnhart on the outside. Edgington uses him up. Farnhart's not going to like that. 2 more corners, and Farnhart bumps him up out of the way. Here comes Jack Farnhart. Edgington on the inside, Farnhart on the outside. Who's it going to be? Coming to the line. Farnhart gets put in the grass, and Brandon Edgington is going to win at Mid-Ohio with a questionable move. What a finish. Questionable move there by Brandon Edgington to put Farnhart in the grass. Something similar to what happened at the Indianapolis Roval, but INF has already came over the radio and said he does not care about that move. It was a fun finish. What a race. But Jack Farnhart's bid for the weekend sweep is cut short, and his bid for the all-time Xfinity Series wins record is cut short by Brandon Edgington, who goes from pole to stage 1 victory to stage 2 victory and race win. He sweeps the race. Incredible race between the top 2. What a race. And all of the interviewees are going to be going over with Flash over on UTLR Live. If you guys want to hear from Brandon Edgington, Jack Farnhart, and the 3rd place finisher of John Dean, go right over there, and they will be giving their interviews. Thank you guys for tuning into the Esports Racing Network. Tomorrow night, we are racing an F1 for the Wheel to Wheel Racing League, the first race of the season at Australia. Me and SP will be up in the booth. Tomorrow, me and SP will be up and in the booth for the F1 series. Make sure you guys tune in. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Have a good day, everybody.